Hello, welcome back to the Cricket Nerds. Me and Benji today, and we're talking about Delhi Capitals. Will they win, or why they will win the IPL? And first things first, got some news. Obviously, it'll be nothing breaking news here, but Rishabh Pant obviously ruled out after his terrible car crash. Speedy recovery to him, but David Warner has been named the captain of the Delhi Capitals, which obviously is quite a big call. It's definitely a brave move because we saw with Sunrisers when he went out of form, it didn't work too well. And having an overseas captain can sometimes be a bit of a struggle. However, that's what they've gone for. It's a decision they've made. Benji, what are your thoughts on Delhi Capitals?
My concern with them is they haven't got a wicket keeper who's not Phil Salt and who's not Rishabh Pant, who's not playing. I don't know if any of the rest of their squad has ever kept wicket or can keep wicket. Please let us know in the comments if you know about this. You know anyone that can. Maybe David Warner will. Who knows? Maybe Sarfaraz Khan can. He seems to be able to do everything else. But I think that's going to be the biggest problem for Delhi, because it means that at present, one of their overseas spots has to be taken up by Phil Salt, because he's their only person in there who can keep wicket. Which just seems like a bit of an oversight on their part, especially when they've got such a high quality overseas lineup. If you haven't seen, they've got Mitchell Marsh, who's been doing phenomenally in the ODIs, Mustafizur Rahman, who's always been class, the South African pace twins of Lungi Ngidi and Imrit Nortje, who both can be on the first team sheet of any team that they're in. Rovman Powell speaks for himself. Riley Russo, Phil Salt, and Captain David Warner. If they could play 8 overseas players, they'd be playing 8 overseas players. That is just such a good lineup of overseas. So picking 4 out of that, especially when at the minute one has to be Captain Warner and another one is looking like it needs to be Phil Salt, just because of the pure no one can keep wicket issue. It's going to be an absolute headache to pick a side for Delhi.
It is, because part of Delhi's strength in the past has been their strong bowling. If we think about when they've had when they had Nortje and Rabada as their kind of pace attack, they were ridiculously good, and that's kind of how they rised through the ranks as well as they did, as well as obviously having the up and coming batters and really impressive batters like Shreyas Iyer and who else? Prithvi Shaw.
Shikhar Dhawan for years, Prithvi Shaw.
Shikhar Dhawan, Shreyas, Rishabh Pant, people like that. Now, bit more of an issue because, it's more difficult for them to balance the side. Warner is a dead cert, and it's looking like Phil Salt is a pretty likely candidate. So then Nortje, for me, has to play. He is their best overseas bowler. He's the point of difference. Which means, who else do you pay? Because if you want a balanced side, you play you probably play the Fizz because he's a brilliant death bowler. However, you might also want to play Lungi Ngidi. That is also a very viable option. That being said, the batting and the batting form of somebody like Mitch Marsh, who, as we've seen in the India ODIs, India versus Australia ODIs, he's been performing incredibly. And he can also offer you that bowling. So, I jotted down an 11, and in that I have Shaw and Warner, and then Marsh and Salt. So I've got 3 overseas right at the top of the order, and then I've got Nortje at 11. And in between, there are plenty of impressive Indian players. That does definitely need to be said. What are your thoughts on the Indian
side? I mean, I don't know if he can keep wicket, but I've got Sarfaraz Khan as my wicket keeper in the side, just because I think picking Mitchell Marsh and Rovman Powell is the best way to balance that side. I think Rovman Powell sort of speaks for himself with how he's been. He captained the Dubai Capital side as well in the ILT, so he's a friend of the franchise. So I think that would be my assumption going into it. I think Rovman Powell's done enough at the minute to win him his spot. In terms of the other players in there, I've got Warner and Prithvi Shaw opening. Mitchell Marsh at 3. He also gives a little bit with the ball as well, so it allows that balance a bit more. Manesh Pandey, I think he just comes in that number 4 start. Sarfaraz Khan, who's my wicket-keeper batter, if he can't keep wicket, tell me in the comments, please. He might be having to learn really quickly. Rovman Powell, I've got him at number 6, and then I've got Axar Patel, Lalit Yadav, Kuldeep Yadav, Imran Nortje, and then Chetan Sakaria. That's my 11. I think having the opening pace attack of Nortje and Sakaria opens up a lot of doors, and then so much power with spin from Axar Patel, Lalit Yadav, and Kuldeep Yadav. And then I think, because that gives all the different types, you've got a left arm off spinner, you've got a right arm off spinner, and then you've got Kuldeep's left arm wrist spin, which is phenomenal. Rovman Powell can chuck a few dodgy medium paces down as well.
That's true, yeah.
As can Mitchell Marsh. So I think that way they get enough bowling in there.
Yeah.
The only issue is, can one of the team keep wicket and do it well? And I think if Sarfaraz Khan can, again, I'm going to be roasted in the comments for people saying Sarfaraz Khan can't keep wicket. They're going to have to pick, because as soon as they have to pick Phil Salt, it throws the whole team out of whack.
Yeah, I agree. Because I mean, I've looked quickly at Sarfaraz Khan and his stats, and he's never taken a stumping, which obviously I've only just had a brief glance while I've been talking.
Yeah.
Which that hints to me that he hasn't wicket kept, or at least he hasn't done it very well if he's never taken a stumping. So yeah, I mean, David Warner, I've seen him hold some gloves before. That would be quite a funny thing, I guess. But yeah, no, there are definitely questions there, but there are so many talented players. And I think you're absolutely right in talking about like Lalit Yadav and Axar Patel and Kuldeep Yadav. Those guys, particularly Lalit and Axar, can very well hold the bat. You know, they really do lengthen a batting lineup. We've seen how well Axar's done in the past as well. And then Kuldeep isn't a complete mug with the bat, so he could be a potential number 8 and a good number 9. So there is definitely hope. With all of these, well, I feel like with all of the mic's gone weird. Sorry, guys. With all of the like teams that we've done so far, we've had slight issues balancing them, but I think Delhi is the strongest of these teams that we've looked at so far.
Yeah.
So my prediction is that Delhi qualify, and they qualify in 3rd.
Oof. I am going to give Delhi 4th place in the group stages, and then yeah, we'll go on to see how they do. I think just because they've got such a powerful overseas lineup as well.
Yeah, and we haven't even mentioned somebody like Khalil Ahmed either.
Exactly. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching our preview on the Delhi Capitals. We hope you enjoyed. We hope you agree with everything we said. If you don't, let us know. Let us know why we're wrong. Tell us in the comments. Give us your Delhi 11, and please try and let us help. Please help us sort the Delhi wicket-keeping issue. That was harder to say than it should have been. Yeah. Like and subscribe for more. Please watch us and listen to us on all forms. You've heard it all before. Links will be in the link tree in the description. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.